Hello and welcome back to the Jeevers Golf Channel. My name is Hans Jeevers. I am a PGA Tour fantasy contributor for ProGolfNow.com and Fansided.com. Just real quickly, if you don't mind hitting that like button, that'd be outstanding. If you don't even mind subscribing, that would be awesome, as it helps with the algorithms and helps my content get out there. So I really appreciate that. Hopefully the data that I talk about in my videos and my articles are helpful to you. So this week we have the Travelers Championship, which will begin on Thursday from Cromwell, Connecticut. This week the PGA Tour will have another stacked field of talent, including world number one Rory McIlroy. This week's golf course is a par 70 that measures about 6,841 yards in length. This golf course does not have a lot of water hazards. In 2016, it was redesigned and about 50 bunkers were removed from the golf course. This course has been vulnerable to scoring in the past. An example of that would be Jim Furyk shooting a PGA Tour single round record 58 on this particular golf course. So the TPC River Highlands golf course should be vulnerable to many eagles and birdies this week. So you're going to need to find players for your lineup that have the ability to score early and often. So this week, my number one pick is Bubba Watson. He arrives on the DraftKings slate at $8,800. He finished 52nd at the RBC Heritage last week. However, he did fire a final round 65. The week prior to that, he had a 7th place result at the Charles Schwab Challenge. However, I wouldn't have cared if he missed the cut the last 2 weeks, to be honest with you. Why? Well, Bubba Watson is the type of player that plays well on specific golf courses on the PGA Tour calendar each and every year. An example of that would be this. He has 12 PGA Tour wins to his name. 8 of those wins have occurred at 3 specific PGA Tour events. He has 3 wins at the Genesis, which is played at Riviera in California. He has 3 previous wins here at the Travelers. He has 2 previous wins at the Masters. And by the way, Bubba could have another 5 green jackets before his career is over because he seems to contend there each and every year. So, I mean, if you'd like to Google Bubba's previous record here, he's just outstanding at this event. He's played wonderful in his entire career at this golf course, and I think that will continue this week. Bubba Watson at $8,800, in my opinion, is an outstanding play, and you're going to bypass the likes of a Rory McIlroy, which is on the high end of the price spectrum. When you get someone to start your lineup at around $8,800, what that does is it allows you to finish the rest of your lineup with 5 players that have much better chances to win the golf tournament than if you fill it out at the start with a Rory McIlroy. You only have a certain amount of money to utilize to get 6 golfers in your lineup, so keep that in mind. So Bubba Watson at $8,800 is my lead selection, and I feel rather confident in Bubba this week. Moving on, the next guy I like is 2013 United States Open champion Justin Rose. He arrives on the DraftKings slate at $9,200. I should say that Rose had a sponsorship deal with a club manufacturer that he was using for the last year or so, and he was not playing well. He took a ton of money to play with the golf clubs. He was playing awful. So because Rose is likely a very smart man, during the stoppage in play due to the COVID-19 virus, he negotiated a deal to get out of having to use those clubs. So he shifted back to his golf clubs that helped him win a FedEx Cup title a few years ago. And I don't think it's a coincidence that he's coming into this week's event on the heels of 2 consecutive top 14 finishes on the PGA Tour, including a 3rd place result at the Charles Schwab Challenge 2 weeks ago. So Justin Rose, $9,200 is a nice play. I think he fits beautifully for this particular course. Just love Rose this week. Another guy I like, Abraham Answer. He arrives in the DraftKings slate at $9,000. The 29-year-old Mexican finished runner-up to Webb Simpson last week. He finished like a train, nearly got into a playoff with Webb, but came up just a little bit short. I think he's going to continue that outstanding play and possibly could be holding a trophy on Sunday afternoon in Cromwell. So give me Abraham Answer at $9,000 as well. As I mentioned, I'm a contributor for ProGolfNow.com and Fansided.com. And I will have multiple articles that will be out in the next few days. Tomorrow morning, Fansided.com will have my DraftKings article. So be sure to take a look at that. I want to make sure that you're aware that my content is free. It's not behind a paywall, as some sites out there have you pay a certain amount of money a month, et cetera, et cetera. My content is free, not behind a paywall. You can find me at on Twitter at JeeversGolf. If you have any questions any specific week, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter at JeeversGolf. So appreciate the fact that you stayed around to listen to my video and my takes. Hopefully the brief data I provided to you today will help you as you look for DFS fantasy golf glory this week. Take care, and we'll see you next week.